not related to that. And yeah, like I also hold experience of software developer. I worked for around 2 years in India, and uh, like during my undergrad time, like I was into competitive programming and all those things. So if you have questions regarding DSA and all those things, then that's also fine with me. But mostly, I will try to keep this, or we will try to keep this conversation more around machine learning research, what our Indian companies are doing, and what it takes to get a master's at a really good universities or PhD at a really good universities, what profile they require, and how to approach for it. So yeah, looking forward to it, and thank you again all for joining, and thank you, Ashutosh.
So I guess before moving further, just let us know what.
Ashutosh,
Hello.
yeah, you were
So
muted.
yeah, sorry. So before moving further, just let us know what kind of crowd we are having. So guys, can you put it in your chat like which year you are from? I guess most of those who have joined us are currently in undergrad. They are doing their BTech or they're in third year, second year, fourth year. Okay. So mostly, I'm saying that most students are there, Sasank, which are from second year, third year, or maybe few are there from fourth year also. Fine. So my first question to you is, Sasank, like if someone in the if they are in their college, so for a placement we need to masters data structure and algorithm, and you have been also to the like DSA lot. Uh, you have, I guess, for 2 to 3 years you have been deeply involved in DSA. Have also represented our country at the several level in ICMPC, in ACM, ICPC, and all, and various coding competitions. So you have been also been involved in that, like
Yeah, right.
DSA stuff, placement preparation stuffs, and all. So what kind of like if someone is in their college, so what kind of things they need to do, and what should they will be doing in their college so that they can navigate their career towards the masters, and how they can proceed with this?
Okay, so I think so. The very first thing which I would say to any student who is doing his undergrad right now is to maintain his GPA, because whenever you want to go for a master's or PhD, then this is the first thing, or the first criteria which will allow you to even apply for those universities. So I would say like keep a GPA of like 9.8 or 9.9. That is not very significant, to be honest, in evaluation, but I would say like keep a decent GPA. By decent, I mean like anywhere anything above 8.5 is good to go. So first thing is the GPA. The second thing is, I would say, have some research exposure in your undergrad, or try to work with the professors at your universities or professor at some other another university or colleges in India or abroad. And when you have those research exposure, try to get some paper out of it. Uh, as per my experience, I had research internships, but I didn't had any paper because like I couldn't work for very long for internships, and it's very difficult to get a good paper out in a span of 3 months or something like that. So that is the second thing which I would say. And the third thing, which is very important, is to carry out research or to understand anything, any field, is to keep your fundamentals very strong. So mostly like what I'd say, mostly your core subjects like OS, DVMS, CN, like these all will help you indirectly. Even like I will tell you an example. Like 2 days ago, I was reading like how basically NLP came into picture, and I was going through the history and reading about it, and I came to know like okay, uh, the dependency parsers and all those things which we study in compilers, it has come from there. Like they try to create those parsers first manually, and then they try to introduce neural networks for creating those parsers and lexical grammars and all those things. So if you have a very deep understanding of compilers, you'll be able to connect it more, right? Though you can start even learning NLP without even knowing the compilers, but if you have the background, you will be able to connect more. That's what I'm saying. And the fourth thing is, I would say, keep yourself open up to quite many things. If I would have done my undergrad again, I would have devoted my time to few things except DSA and content programming, because when I finished my undergrad, I got to know, like, okay, I missed out on few things which I would have done. So these are quite four things which I would say, like, if you're in undergrad, then you should think about, and of course, like, as per your interest, you should move forward.
Okay, so I guess apart from this is you were talking regarding the CGPA that we need to maintain in the college. So how how they the Indian CGPA, how they measure it outside India? Uh, you need to maintain at least 8 or something, minimum criteria is there, like when we go for the placement mainly, we need to at least for to sit in the placement we need to maintain a GPA of maybe 6.5 or 7. So how is there?
Okay, so basically, of course, like in India, most of the colleges have the grading system out of 10. And how they do it over here is, suppose they kept it like out of 4, the minimum GPA criteria for admission is, or even to apply, is 3.3. So 3.3 closely comes down to 8.28, something like that, if you convert it into a scale of 10. So that's why I said, like, always it's a safe line to keep it above 8.5. But even if you have a low GPA and you have a very good profile, then of course professors are ready to recommend you for admission, and they can convince the committee. I've seen people who are having low GPA and still they are in very good universities, but that is an exception, and it's like they had a really tremendous research profile, and that was the reason. But why to take risk around that?
Mhm. Okay, got it. So, so I guess it's clear to everyone that in order to maintain in order to land up in a good college outside India, to pursue masters, you need to maintain a good CGPA, right? Apart from that, Sasank, like how we can approach a faculty or a professor in a college to do the masters, because in first year and second year or maybe in third year we are not having much idea regarding the research. Uh, we are only doing projects. So how we can uh, 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 do projects, and on the same side by side we can also do some research, or also we can extend this particular project to a this this one research paper, something like that.
I see.
Because in a college we used to make a very simple kind of project which are easily available over the online, over the
Mhm.
YouTube. We just go over there, which we just try to copy paste the code from there and go and watch the whole video and implement the whole project, right? That's our minor and major project. For me it was like that. I don't know about others. So
Mhm.
how because doing research and all, it requires a lot of patience, a lot of R&D.
Yeah, so basically, see, like, reiterating the stuff should not, like, it would not be significant, right? If you even if you try to publish out of it something. First of all, like, to there are a couple of conferences, there are a couple of journals in which
Mhm.
you publish. So some of them are like very low tier journals and conferences. In that you can publish stuffs like anyhow. But what matters in your research is how much impactful is your research. If your research is not impactful, then it's of no use. So for anyone who is in the second year or third year of their college, I would say, uh, like what I did uh, to get myself exposed to research. When I was in second year, I remember like I tried mailing to almost all the professors working in the field of AI because, to be honest, I was not aware what machine learning, deep learning, and all those things are. But still, I tried to kind of mail them, tell them what skills I am holding right now, what I know and what I don't know. And I tried to mail a lot of professors in IITs back that time. Unfortunately, I got acceptance from two of them. And finally, I did my research internship in my after my second year summers at IIT Indore. So that gave me a good research exposure what they're working on. I was working with one of my professors PhD student. So of course, like that gave me a good idea like what research is all about and how it's carried, why some papers are good, why some papers are not good, why some work is good and why some work is not good. So all these things and moreover about the topic as well what I was working on. So I would say like of course like when we are in the second or third year like we don't know much about research and research is a very broad thing and at the same time it's also a very narrow thing about a particular thing. So I would say like take help from your professors. Like that is the only thing you can go with because carrying out an individual research at that level is next to impossible. I'm not saying not it's not possible, but it's close to impossible because uh, we don't have that background knowledge to carry out all the fundamental things required in a research project. So the first thing you can do is either mail professors outside your colleges to some better colleges or you find like some professor who is working in that area in which you are interested. So first of all like if you're and even if we are not able to get into research internships into any of the other like IITs, triple IITs or something like that, approach your professors like in your university or in your college. They would help you. They would be like happy to guide you and do some projects with you. And then they would see, okay, you're able to produce some good results, and then maybe you can have a good paper out of it.
Hmm. Okay, got it. So, Sasank, like you said that you were mailing a lot of professor when you was in second year. So, from from how many? Suppose you are sending a mail to the 100 professor. So, what was the conversion ratio? Like, how much respond you are getting from them? This should
Okay.
also be. They should also know ki the conversion and the professor who will reply to your mail will be very low.
Yeah. So like to be honest, like I don't know what would be the current scenario, how active the professors are, and how actively they seek summer interns now for the research work. But for me, it's like almost 6 to 7 years back, kind of. So at my time, like I made close to around 30, 35 professors,
Mm-hmm.
and out of them, I got response from 5 to 10. But finally, like some of them were going out somewhere in summer, they were not available. For some of them, like they felt like I didn't had enough background knowledge at this point of time to carry out work with them. Some of them like accepted. So two of them accepted basically. So out of 35, you can see the conversion rate is really low. But as I'm saying, like right now, I'm seeing like professors are posting on LinkedIn like they have summer internship positions or they have RA positions under them. So
Mm-hmm.
that is another thing. But uh, I'd say like why not try for it? Like even if you get accepted at a very good college or university, and then you get a chance to carry out research under a very good professor, then they will guide you for life. To be honest, like I'm still in touch with the professor under whom I did my summer internship after my second year. Until date, like he has guided me a lot. To be honest.
Hmm. So, Sasank, I guess your conversion ratio was quite good because I'm a sales guy, I lead sales. So, we are having a conversion ratio on an average of 2 to 3%. If we do a conversion rate of 5%, it's a kind of celebration for us. And one more thing I want to know, Sasanki, they should also know ki how you were scrapping the data, how you were getting extracting the information of the professor who were kind of bit lean towards your domain on which you were working on through LinkedIn or how you were cold mailing them. What was your approach at that point of time?
So if you go and like type IIT Delhi and you
Mm,
go to Department of Computing Science faculty section, you will have all the faculties over there with their research domain. Some of them would have even have their personal website where they write everything what they're working on, what open projects they have, and what their research is, what they're looking for. Are they looking for someone with some RA or some summer intern positions or not? So it's like very easily and it's openly available. And if you want to read the research papers on which they have worked on or which they have published before, just go on Google Scholar, type their name. You will have all the papers under that particular professor or the person. So that is kind of the
okay.
methodology I
So
followed.
mainly it will be kind of available on their website with a particular
Yeah,
domain,
right,
right?
right.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
And regarding the scholarship and all, Sasan, can you please give an overview, like how if anyone can get a scholarship or?
Okay. Yeah. So basically, regarding scholarship, it's all about like if you are cold mailing the professor and the professor is individually accepting you and it's not under a specific program, then it's up to professor like whether he has funds for you or not. But if you're going through a program, then it's a guaranteed scholarship or funding you will get over the period of your internship. For example, like my 18th hour internship was kind of not funded, but they had some specific amount of funding for the specific project. So once the project is over or they find like you have made a significant contribution, they can give you some amount out of their funding. But for example, like I after my third year, I went for the MyTex research internship. So that was a completely funded program. Like you get your salary, you get your funding to stay, to travel, and everything. So programs are really completely funded, but individually that totally depends on the professor.
Mm. This this is both quite similar for the internship and for the masters.
No. So basically, if you if you think about masters, then there are two type of masters. One is course based and one is research based or thesis based. So when you go with course based thing, uh, it's
The one
usually not
they
fun.
the one they are selling online. Like, I don't want to name the
No, no,
company.
no. It's like the course based, like where you have some courses, you have a capstone project, and then you graduate. That's it. So
Okay.
most of the universities in US carry out course based masters.
Mm,
So those are not like funded. You have to pay a fee for the courses, and then kind of you complete your courses and you get your masters. It's just like how you did your undergrad. But
got it.
but for thesis based masters, it's more like you have some minimum coursework requirement which you complete in your first year, and then you kind of work for next 1.5 year on your research, and you publish a paper out of it. You write a thesis and defend it. So indirectly, you're working under a specific supervisor or a professor at that university,
Mm-hmm.
and you're carrying out your research. So those programs are kind of completely funded. So like for my program, which I'm doing right now, it's a thesis based. So that's I'm working in a supervisor, and my program has a guaranteed funding of a particular amount of period. And that's the thing, like thesis based programs are quite like completely funded, and completely funded not in terms only of your fees and all those things. They give you enough salary to uh, like carry out expenses for staying, for food and everything. So kind of it's like uh, no loss game for you if you go for a thesis based thing. But yeah, of course, like if you're really interested into research and if you're really into like okay, uh, let's say you want to go in the R&D domain of any companies, then these programs are really helpful for you.
Got it. And how is like, as you have been in University of Alberta, so how is life there? It's kind of very hectic. How is life there?
To be honest, like the curriculum is quite different from what we had back in India, because uh, over here the most important thing is, are you able to learn something or not? They don't care about the marks, they don't care about anything. And what and what are the ethics in which you are working with. So there is no scope of plagiarism, there is no scope of just like taking some projects from somewhere and submitting it. You have to do something that shows that you have learned something out of it. So that is
Mm,
the first most thing over here. The second thing which I felt is a really good thing over here is the professors. Like, you can go and discuss any idea you have, and if they find it really interesting, you can start working with them. And talking about the hectic or the time schedule, so it depends totally. Like, when you're doing coursework, you're completing your coursework requirements, like I did in my last year. So it was more about like I had to complete 5 coursework over here, and it was usual like what we had back in India. But yeah, here it's very important to go to classes. It's not like back in India. I remember I didn't used to go to classes very much. Like, I had a really low attendance. But over here, for all my 5 courses, I never missed a single class, because they make it so interesting and they make it in a way that okay, you're able to learn a lot out of it. And if you are
mhm,
not attending the classes, then you won't be able to do the assignments. That's what I feel, because they're
mm,
super hard. And but at the end, like, you will enjoy the course a lot. So these are
mm,
some major differences which I find. And talking about the hecticness, like in course, it's up to you. Like, if you are well versed with the things, then of course you will do it out very quickly. And if you
mm,
need some time, then of course you have to manage your time accordingly. Coming to the second year of the research, yeah, then I agree. Like, it becomes a bit hectic, because you have to carry out your research independently. Like, there is like you the supervisor is something who will act as a catalyst over here. He will not like direct you for any problem statement, he will not direct you for the solution. You have to push your supervisor. You have to tell him, okay, I'm trying to think in this way, then he may guide. Okay, you're going in wrong direction. He is just a guiding thing over here. So that time it becomes a bit hectic, because you have to manage your research and manage other things as well going around.
mm. Got it. So Sank, one more question I'm having. Like, after someone completed their master's research or something, like as you said, course based. So after that, what's their life trajectory? A particular life trajectory would be, if they're not pursuing their PhD. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, what majority of the students are doing?
Okay, so basically, like, if you go for course
Because
based, then
that is the end goal for what they have joined this program. Like in India, they are joining this undergrad in a tier 2 or tier 3 city to get a placement, right?
yeah, right,
So
getting it.
what is the single goal over there?
So like, first, like, for like course based thing, like, it mostly like they go for jobs like software engineering jobs and all those things, or even like ML jobs if they are interested and have done significant work around it.
So MBA can also be included in this course based program,
I don't have
like
really
from
much.
MBA from Harvard or from any Ivy League college.
For MBA side, to be honest, I'm not really sure about,
I'm
because
just asking out of curiosity. How is that?
I didn't explore it anytime, and like, I feel like I'm not the right person to give the
Okay.
sufficient answer about it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so talking about the end goal for the master's thing. So if you're going for course based, then I've of course seen people just like joining as a software engineer, as an application developer, or kind of machine learning engineer, not machine learning engineer as well, like data scientist and all those things. uh, just as it's just like, as per my experience and what I have seen, I feel like if you don't want to shift to a different country, then doing a course based masters is of no use, I feel, because at the end you're again going to join the same job. Why to waste 2 years in that? if
Yeah.
you if you would have joined software engineer as a fresh grad out of your college, why don't
Mm,
you just give 2 years in that domain, and you would be high in the corporate ladder by the time of two
mm,
years But
mm,
in case you go and join your masters, and then you again join as a software engineer, then you're kind of like starting just as a fresh grade out of it again.
mm.
And I feel like it's of no use. But yeah, people do it, of course. They have their reasons. But if you're going for thesis based masters, then I feel like your trajectory should be more around going into research and development, or going for your PhD. But yeah, if you totally ignore the part of doing PhD and all those things, then your target should be to join a company as a research engineer, as a ML scientist, or something like that. Like that is core related to research only, and not a very generic jobs like software engineering or data scientist or machine learning engineer. Though people join it as well, that's
Mhm.
totally up to you and your interest. But I feel like if I've come and if you have devoted your time, a significant amount of time in research, then of course you should try to pursue further in that domain only.
Got it. I guess, yeah, you mentioned one thing that if you're doing some course-based degree of some masters, it's for me also. I don't think so. It's kind of like the same thing. Meanwhile, I have also interacted with a lot of my friends who are there in India in IITs and top NITs. So whenever the company go for the placement, their first preference is BTech students. Then their second preference or third preference is that they will be hiring the MTech students. They if they hire, they try to keep the package at least bit kind of low, that they are
Mhm.
offering to the undergraduate student. So in India also, I guess these things are there, but I don't know why people are going. I'm also I don't know.
So I feel like there are some jobs like, if you want to join as a ML scientist or a research scientist, applied scientist, then the companies have a requirement like you should have a master's degree or a PhD degree around it. But like for software engineering, to be honest, you can join any company after your undergrad if you're really good at DSA.
Mm,
Then like
right.
it becomes like a flattening thing sort of.
Mm. And how is MTech in India is different from outside, like masters? Any quite particular difference is there, or it's kind of bits similar only? I know its exposure will be quite different from India. They will be getting a good exposure, but apart from exposure, anything is difference, and any difference is there, or they are the same?
Yeah, so like the biggest difference over here and over the ITs or triple ITs or NITs in India is, uh, here you don't have any placement thing sort of. You're on your own for
Mm.
everything. After you complete your degree, then you have to search for your job on your own. There is no one like, there's nothing like campus placement over here. So one,
In if they're doing masters in India, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah. So but in India, like in IITs, of course, the campus placement and all those things are there, and you can, companies are visiting and you can go and apply and sit in their hiring drive.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing is like in India, MS by research is like very less taken course. Very few people take it. Mostly people are into doing MTech, which is again the course based thing only, like the
Mm-hmm.
course based approach. You complete your courses, you do a project, and then you are done with your MTech. So it's like these are some couple of major differences which I feel, and I haven't like studied as an MTech student in India, so this is what I have heard from my friends who are doing MTech in IITs and all those places.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. So I guess that was all kind of common question that I have tried to prepare. I guess now we can move to the Q&A session. So that if anyone are having any kind of questions, they can ask. So guys, if you're having any kind of question, you can put it in the chat, or you can also open up your mic and ask the question to Sasank. Yeah, previously one question we have got from, I guess, Satya Misra. He was asking you the question from DSS Asang.
Okay.
He is asking that, sir, which language we prefer for code, Python or C language for DSA topic? He's asking that which language you would be doing for DSA.
I
He,
assume like he is from second year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Satya is there? I guess maybe he's not. We is there in the call or not? Maybe
Okay, we can take other
yes.
questions like.
Where Assis has asked that, sir, can publishing research paper in college be beneficial for MS in abroad with scholarship?
Yeah, so like if you have a research paper, that's a really plus point. Like it's always beneficial to have it, and of course it will help you for your higher studies as well.
Hmm. Samarth is asking that how does one decide their area of interest? Should we try out all these possible domains, or is there any other technique? So I guess this is a good question, at least for mine,
Mhm.
because finding one area of interest is very important. Otherwise, like going with the flow, you are choosing some domain as Chat GPT is there, AI and ML are booming. You go for choosing the AI and ML, you are not good in maths, then I guess this will not work out. So how can a particular decide his area of interest?
Yeah. So who asked this question?
Samarth has
Okay.
asked this question.
Is he here? Like he can
Samarth, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm
you
here.
are.
Yeah, hi
Yeah.
Samarth. Thanks.
So it was a good question, honestly. But around it, I want to ask a question to you. So, do you play any sport?
Yes, badminton sometimes.
Yeah. So before choosing or inclining towards badminton, did you try every possible sports?
No, no.
So what made you incline to a particular sport?
I tried it once and then I felt that like I am good at it and
Yeah.
Mm,
So see, the brute force approach can be like, okay, you go and try all possible domains in which or every possible field of research that is going on. But that is not feasible, of course. But the second thing which you can do is why not like keep a knowledge or keep reading about all the stuffs which are going on, not all the stuffs,
mm,
at least which are going in the recent times and what have been done or not have been done. And just by observing, just try to see, okay, this one interests me, let me just go and do something around this. If that interests me, that's fine. Otherwise I will keep exploring. So exploration part is very important when you're trying to find your area of research, like what interests you more. Of course, you cannot try everything around there, but you can observe everything around there, I feel. So
mm,
this way you can do, and like you can find something that can be of some interest to you, or you can pursue it for lifetime or for some period of time.
I guess I got the answer, Samarth, or still you are
thank you.
confused.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Samarth. We are having one more question from Razul. He is asking that is GRE is mandatory for MTech?
See, for doing MTech in India, you don't require GRE, you have to write a GATE exam.
Maybe
But in
he would be asking for the masters, but MTech is so common in India that it's a typo mistake, I guess.
okay, yeah, no worries. So basically, like during the COVID time, what happened? Like few or like majority of the universities have waived off GRE right now, but I'm not
Mm,
sure when you will be done with your degree or when you will be done with your undergrad, then these rules will still apply. But yeah, generally you have to give a GRE, a TOEFL, or an IELTS exam. So GRE is to check your verbal and analytical skills, and TOEFL is just to check your English level. Like what is the do you qualify on the minimum criteria of English speaking, writing, and understanding of English? That is all about like TOEFL and IELTS, but as I said, like GRE is about both verbal and analytical.
mm. I guess Razul, you got the answer. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
So any further question we're having, or is cleared, Razul?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, thank you so much. We are having next. We are having plenty of questions, Sasank. I guess they are very much interested in going abroad.
Yeah.
Ben is having question like What exams do we have to give for doing further studies abroad? I guess same question, but it's kind of bit twisted. So it's up to you.
Yeah, so kind of same only. Like you have to like qualify for the basic uh, English level testing thing as an IELTS or a TOEFL. And then if the university requires GRE, they're asking for it, then give GRE. Else, like GRE is not required.
Okay. We are having one further question from Masutosh Sahu. He's asking that, hi Bhaiya, how you manage your college course studies along with your master preparation in your BTech time?
Okay, so Ashutosh, like to be honest, when I was in my college, I didn't study in a way that, to be honest, I didn't study for two purpose. I didn't study to go for higher studies. I didn't study to in a way that I will get a placement out of it. Uh, that may be a different perspective, but for
Yeah,
me,
Shashank, because you were prodigy, and so just talk about the common people. Like,
no, I feel like
I'm just
if you,
kidding.
yeah, so I feel like if you're studying something, then just study for its fun, for its joy. Don't think about any end goal, because
Mhm.
else like you will not even enjoy or not even able to give your 100% out of it. So you will miss the fun of learning that thing, I feel. But of
Exactly.
course, like it should not be like, okay, you just study and you should not have some results out of it. That's also not good. So I would say, like, for that, just try to take all the fundamentals in your undergrad. Just try to take all of them. You will be good to go for any companies in your placement. You will good to go for any universities abroad for your masters or PhD. And even you would be very good to go for your gate exams as well.
Okay, I guess Asutosh, you have got the answer. Uh, Next question we are having from Masis. He's asking that, can we do MS abroad with scholarship? What is the process? He's asking regarding the scholarship. Uh,
Yeah, so basically, like Ashish, it's more around like if you go for a thesis-based program, then it's completely funded. You don't have to worry about scholarship and anything. That's like from the university only. They will support you for everything. But if you're going for course-based, then of course, like you can apply for external scholarships. And uh, in US, I've heard like there are state scholarships, which for which you can apply, or you can talk to professors there, like, okay, are you hiring any RAs, research assistant, or as a teaching assistant, and then you can join them and have a part-time job as well. Else, like it's like difficult to get state scholarship because they are highly competitive. So what my friends usually do who are doing course based in US universities is like they search for an RA or a T under any professor, and they basically give them some funding out of it, and they are able to manage their finances and all those things.
mhm. Okay, I guess Assis has asked this question. So I guess it's clear to you, Assis. If you're having any question, you can also ask now. So Suvaris, we are having one question as he's asking that how to choose a research topic in a field. Can you explain with your own case? He's asking that how you have explored and found out that I am a bit interested in AI or the technology you're working in. So how he can iterate and explore that and find that this thing is quite interesting to me. Taking an
Okay,
example of your own case, sir.
getting it. So back then when I was in my second year, of course, I was a very novice sort of student and I didn't have much idea. So I said like, okay, despite of like I go by a way that okay, if I can't choose something, I will eliminate few things so that I'm sure okay, I will not do these things. So I just threw myself for a research internship, and there I got to work on unsupervised learning uh, algorithms and some basic or traditional machine learning algorithms. And over there I was like, yeah, that seemed interesting. Like how basically like it gave me a it gave me a exposure to an application of maths which I have been reading before. Like I was not very good at mathematics, to be honest, but machine learning or AI gave me a pathway to understand mathematics in a very deeper level. So maths is something which I have liked, but I was not good at. So I thought like, okay, why not pursue it further? Then after like when I came back from my internship was over, then again I started off with my quantitative thing and I didn't focus on all those things. Then again, after my third year, I got another research opportunity to work, and I was here only like in the summers of 2019, and I worked on some NLP problems back then, and I found like okay, NLP is something good, but it is not of my interest. I didn't enjoy it much, to be honest. So I thought like okay, NLP is something which I'm not interested as of now, so I won't pursue it further. And then I again continued with my DSA thing. Now coming fast forward to the time right now, I'm working in AI and genomics. So when I was doing my job, right, every day I used to question myself like why I'm doing a job and like the job I'm doing or the work I'm doing, is it giving me satisfaction and what gives me satisfaction? So I was thinking about all these things and I felt like okay, if I work in a healthcare domain, then it will give me a sense of uh, like kind of a sense of contribution, a sense of something like okay, whatever I'm doing is helpful to someone at least. So I had that in my mind like okay, I will work with I will work in healthcare domain only. So over here when I came, even I was not very sure about what I would be working on. I didn't had any problem statement in my mind. So I talked to a couple of professors here. I had my supervisor already decided, but still I talked to a couple of professors around there. I first approached and tried talking to a professor who is working in privacy and fairness in machine learning. So I was like, okay, we have so many healthcare data right now here. Why not work on the how machine learning privacy can be like kind of uh, can be sustained in healthcare data or the EHR data. But I felt like okay, that is not something really good I'm looking forward to. Uh, it's good to go with, but I felt like I want to go into something deeper. Then I approached one another professor. He was working on KPIs. So uh, some mental diseases cannot be measured, right? You cannot measure. You don't have a unit of measurement how depressed a person is. You can't give a numerical value to it. So he's working on something around that. So uh, he told me like, okay, he's working on these things, and I thought like, no, much deeper. Then I went to my supervisor and I told him all these things, and then I said like, then he said like, why don't you take a course in bioinformatics? And I was like, okay, let me take a course in bioinformatics. I took a course in bioinformatics, and when I read about how each cell or how at a very deeper level or the subtle level our body works, I got really interested into it, and I was really surprised like, okay, our body also follows some particular algorithmics or particular learning algorithms on there without us even knowing. And I wanted to explore about it more. And in that way, like I kind of like started with how vaccines are developed and how our body is able to fight against them. And then I came around this AI in genomics, which I'm working right now.
Mm, yes, like quite deep and quite interesting, Sasank. I guess through your journey, uh, uh, he will be able to understand and he will be able to navigate himself by choosing his career of interest. Next question we are having from Satya Ranjan Sahu. He is asking that can we grab the job in the future as nowadays chatbot is growing in the field of computer science.
That's a really interesting topic, Satya, and I can discuss days on it
Mhm.
because you have raised a very philosophical question over here. Like, uh, will chatbots or will AI will ever have that analytical reasoning power? Because what separates human from every other being around here is we are we have a very well developed brain and we have a very strong analytical power, which no one around over here is having that. So that becomes a question of will AI will ever have intelligence, will AI ever have consciousness or awareness? So it's more
Mhm.
of a philosophical topic, but I feel like for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I don't know like in the exact timeline,
Mm,
but humans will not be replaced anytime, because it's just like uh, just think in a way that AI in healthcare, will it ever replace doctors? No, it will just assist them.
mm,
That's not like, will AI ever replace software engineers, or will AI ever replace humans? No, they will only assist us. They are here to assist us. They are not here to replace us. But of
mm,
course, like, if you're not up to the technology and if you're not updated with them, of course you will be replaced in any field. Like if you're working in any language or in any framework which has been outdated back 10 years back, then of course you would be not required in the industry right now as well, without even the indulgence of AI in it. I hope that makes sense.
yes, right. So Sasank, for the AI, like this decade, how will be the like for from your perspective, how will be the like I guess this decade gonna be a very crucial decade for mainly AI and artificial or machine learning. So how the things will be as per like how you see the things as per from your perspective.
See, like I feel like if I go back and see the last 20 years, I feel like the year from 99 late 1997 or 2000 till
Mm,
2010, there
mm,
was an era of e-commerce. There were a lot of e-commerce companies
mm,
opening up.
right, right.
Right. From 2010 to 2020, there were
Mm,
so many tech companies around there over the world.
right.
But I feel from now onwards, it will be more
Mm,
around AI in those specific domains which have been already there.
mm,
But AI in healthcare will be something that would be there for a very, very long time, because that is kind of bit unexplored. Unexplored in the terms of industry wise. Research is way ahead than industry, way ahead.
mm,
The language models which we are studying right now, these GPT and all those things,
mhm,
their basic groundwork started way back in 1980s when RNNs were theoretically proved. But we didn't have
mm,
machines that time, so powerful machines to carry out computations of that particular architecture. So academia will be always ahead of industry, always, because they have been doing the theoretical work and all those things way ahead of time. That's why it's called research. Like research is always way ahead of its time, right?
got
So
it.
I feel like AI in genomics specifically, right now, like during COVID, like COVID gave a very opening kind of like eye-opening kind of thing to people around the world. Like, okay, uh, vaccine development, we are still lagging behind vaccine development a lot, and we still don't know how to deal with the genetic materials of the viruses and all those things. So
Mm,
the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which most of us know about, is basically mRNA based vaccine, and there is a huge challenge in in producing those things, like in terms of like industry manufacturing, and in terms of research oriented thing as well, like how the genetic materials evolve and how they could be stable enough. So AI in genomics is something, and AI in genomics is like kind of, if any one of you have been into nuclear physics and all those things, then back then when Manhattan Project or the recently that movie was released, Oppenheimer. So
mm,
at that time, the nuclear physics was at its peak. Like everyone was around studying
exactly.
physics, and they were building bombs and all those things. Like nuclear energy can be used in a shape of an atomic bomb, and even in a shape to help like as a good energy um, in producing electricity and all those things around
Mm,
there. So similar way, like genomics, like if you're able to produce vaccines using AI, right, to fight against a particular virus, you can even create virus out of it, right? So
mm,
bioweapons would be something that we would see in near future as well.
mm,
So I
got it.
feel like these things are all going on, and of course, like people are trying out hard to study intelligence and all those things, deep philosophical questions.
And how this gonna like AI gonna impact the life of a normal consumer, normal people that like For example, if you see the example of one of the OpenAI product that the normal people uses, it's called ChatGPT. So how these things gonna impact the normal life? Last week, I guess I was seeing the Y Combinator intake for the this year. So mostly, all the startup that they have selected, 70 to 80% of the startups were the one who were working in the field of artificial intelligence or maybe a kind of robotics engineering. So means as far as I have observed, it's like now that tech are now the technology is very diversifying, like uh, the next decade maybe will be for AI robotics engineer, maybe for the energy like EV, how we are seeing that EV is getting penetrated, not EV, some kind of energy revolution will be there. So I think this kind of technologies are space industry is also getting like very things are also getting privatized in our country also. I guess a Skyroot and all kind of companies are there who have.
Right.
So how you think all this, like how normal people uh, will be impacted? Because Chat GPT is the one thing where the normal people live, the Chat GPT is now a part of our daily life. We used to ask questions for the content and also how things will be impacting our normal consumer life.
Okay, I feel like ChatGPT is something that became very popular, in which like the large language model or the AI was particularly used a lot over there and being used by many people. But I feel like we have been impacted by AI from a very long time.
Mm,
Coming back to your Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant, all those things,
mm,
those are just a product of natural language processing, right? And
mm,
how an audio signal is conserved and all those things, like these are like I will just not go into deep technical details about it, but yeah, that is also AI. You are scrolling your YouTube,
mm.
your feed gets consolidated or your feed gets
Get personalized.
adjusted, personalized according to your search and according to what you are really looking for. That's
Mm,
also AI. You are scrolling reels. Suddenly you scroll a reel and you watch that reel and suddenly all related reels started to come in your feed. That's also AI. So AI is all about like personalizing your need, each individual need, because if you write an algorithm, that algorithm is generic and it won't be personalized to your thing, right? Of course it will not be that much personalized, but AI is something that can take care of every individual around there. It can personalize it for your own. And what I feel is the only job of AI is to take you from uncertainty to a level of certainty.
mm,
Everywhere where AI is being involved, it's something which was uncertain at a particular point of time. And now your decision making can become bit certain due to the help of AI. Like this
mm.
is what I feel and where it is
Yeah,
going.
exactly same. The same thing for we do with the Chat GPT also. Like if we are planning to write some mail, or if we are planning to write some content, we don't think now I have to first start this from introduction, then I have to explain this. We just put over there the big Chat GPT give us the content. So yeah, it's kind of
Right.
bit leveraging the things that we were doing previously.
True.
So got it. I guess one question is we are having, Sasank, I guess this is the last question we are having.
Mhm.
Siddharth is having question like, through Git can be applied for TUM Germany. I don't know you're having any idea or not regarding this.
Uh, I know about TUM, that is Technical University of Munich, if I'm right. And
Siddharth, are you there?
Hello, yes, sir, I'm there.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I feel uh, like what I've heard, like through GATE as well, few of the universities abroad take admissions. Like I think so. NUS is also one of them in
Mm,
Singapore.
Yes.
Singapore, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is one
Yeah.
of them. But I'm not really sure about TU Munich. Uh, but for Germany, I feel like you have to qualify the like you have to qualify some German language test up to a certain language. Like you should have a particular grade level for the German thing. And I feel like they require, some of the good universities in Germany requires GRE as well. But I'm not sure like if GATE is particularly applied to this university like TU Munich. But I'm sure about NUS because I read like, okay, through GATE yet you can apply to NUS and few other universities as well. But
A few other foreign university are like I have also heard that few foreign university we can approach through. They take this gate as a their
yeah,
entry.
they take
I've
GATE score.
also so what you can do, Siddharth, I guess this would be available on the Get website, like which uh, uh, what kind of colleges, international colleges are taking admission through this Gate. You can go over there and find because uh, uh, I'm also not sure. Shashank is also not sure.
Okay,
Oh,
sir.
I think so. It takes through GATE, and I'm just pasting a link over here. You can go through that.
Mm.
Sir, apart from GRE, can we give the IELTS exam as a
Yeah, like
language proficiency?
so. Of course, like either IELTS or TOEFL, or I think so. Right now, there is something called Duolingo as well. So you can give any three of them to justify your English level proficiency or just the language test.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so I guess Sasidhar, you were raising hands previously. You are having any question? You can ask. Sasidhar, are you there? If you are having any question, you can ask. Oh, no, okay, fine, thanks. Rupkatha Chaudhary, we are having one question that, hello, currently I'm in third year. So what is the ideal time to give GRE exam and apply for college in the US?
Okay, so to apply for colleges in US, the application generally opens up in uh, August till October. It's there, but it's always beneficial like if you apply as early as possible. So I feel like to start your application, it takes around like 6 to 7 months of time. Like you, so if the application opens up in August or something like that, then you should give your GRE and all those things like at least 6 months before, at least 6 months before, because then you have to write your SOP, then you have to arrange for reference letters and be prepared with every raw material required to complete your application. So I feel like anywhere like 6 months or 7 months before your application, whenever the application opens for that particular university or which you are targeting, you can give the exam. And I think so GRE is valid for 5 years and TOEFL for 2 3 years, I feel.
Mm, okay, I guess Rupkatha has got her answer.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you so much. So any further question, like just let us know in the chat if you're having any question. I guess Sang there like everything is resolved, so when they're not having any question. Meanwhile, I am sharing this Sang LinkedIn LinkedIn profile link in the uh, chat box so that you can connect with him over the LinkedIn. And if you're having any kind of confusion or anything is there, you can connect with him later on also. I guess we have got one more question. Uh, he is asking that can you tell us about the management courses in abroad? If you're having any ideas, Sasank, regarding the management courses.
To be honest, I don't have idea about management courses because I'm into technical domain and I don't even have some friends who is doing management courses abroad. So I don't feel I'd be a good person or to go with. Sorry about that.
Okay, fair enough. Nice. So yeah, when you can go and search it on the Google, you will find some answer related to this. How to pursue your MBA in Harvard or all those Ivy League colleges. Okay, thank you. So I'm just pasting Sasank LinkedIn profile in the chat. So please connect with him over the LinkedIn. And if you're having any kind of question in the future also, if you're like somehow get stuck, just you can connect with him and ask if you're having any kind of question. Meanwhile, I guess we have been here for more than 1 hour, and it was a very engaging session, like a lot of Q&A, lot of questions were there. And special thanks to Susank for taking out your time and connecting with us and guiding us for like more than 1 hour. And what happens, why we plan to organize this kind of talk on the master's studies, because in India, everyone is quite confused because they don't know a particular way. Is like there is not a certain rule that you have to follow. Like if you have to go into the IIT, you have to give the IIT JEE exam, and then on the basis of the rank you will be getting, right? So there is not a perfect pathway. So I personally feel that people are very much confused and how they can navigate themselves. So I guess that those who have joined today on the weekend, on the Sunday, it's like a like it's like a holiday for you, and and mainly in the evening, right? So thanks for joining us, and thank you so much, Sasank, for guiding all of us and letting us know how we can also plan and go abroad. And thank you so much, guys, for being such a engaged audience. uh, I guess that's all from mine. Sasank, you're having from anything you are having from your end?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined, and like I hope you all reach where you want to go. And thank you again for inviting. It was it was a good experience for me as well to interact with you all and talk to you and share
Yeah.
my experience. I hope it will be helpful to some of you at least, if not everyone.
Yeah. If, uh, if like this can add, this webinar, this talk can add some value to your life, like then it will be nothing. We're not expecting nothing more than that. So yeah, thank you all for joining, and thank you, Susank, for guiding us for all the like more than 1 hour, taking the Q&A session for I guess more than 30 minutes, right? So thank you so much.
Completely fine.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess if nothing is there, we can close the call. Thank you so much, Sasank.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.